Hello friends, welcome back to a brand new video. Australia have made history in their final group game of the World Cup against Denmark. They needed to win to make sure that they could progress into the next round out of the group stage, and they have done for the first time since 2006. It's in fact the second time only that they have been able to progress out of a group stage in a World Cup ever. So how did they do it? Well, join me as we go through some of the talking points that surrounded this game and what actually happened during the match. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Stay tuned for my World Cup coverage as well. You don't want to miss it, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you never ever miss an upload. But let's talk about Australia's fantastic win over Denmark and how they have made history. Going into the game between Australia and Denmark for the final group stage match of the World Cup for them, I didn't really give Australia too much of a hope to try and get out of the group, let alone win the game against Denmark. And when we look at it, they actually did a fantastic job. 1-0 is a brilliant result, and it's the way that they played and the real fortitude that they showed throughout the game. I thought Denmark were quite poor, and we're going to get onto that in just a second, but Australia needed to hang in there. They needed to make sure that they were defensively sound, and that's exactly what they did. The attacking momentum bar, for me, in this instance, is somewhat skewed to the fact that Denmark had a lot of the possession. Australia, yes, were on the back foot, but I actually thought that for the most part, they were quite comfortable. I never really thought that Denmark gave them too many problems. I didn't think that they really offered all too much going forwards. I didn't think that they really threatened Australia in too many instances. Moving on to the players, so I want to talk about some of them. With Harry Souttar, I thought he did a fantastic job. He really did make it work for Australia with the amount of touches that he had, with the amount of clearances he had. He won 6 out of his 8 aerial duels. He won his ground duels, and he just was a very, very solid performer. A brilliant rock at the back, which really helped Australia propel themselves forwards. Then we also have the look at the likes of Aaron Moy and Jackson Irvine, the two midfield pivots who were able to really dictate play and make sure that when Australia had the ball, they made good options. Matthew Leckie obviously cutting in from this right-hand side to go into the middle of the pitch for Australia's counter-attack, and it just all worked. He did a fantastic goal, and they thoroughly deserved it. I thought that Denmark, on the flip side of this, were very poor. I didn't think that Braithwaite got into the game at all. Christian Eriksen was the person they always looked towards, but really couldn't provide that real making assist. And then you have Højbjerg, who was pretty much absent for a lot of the game. He didn't really cut off too many defensive passes. He didn't really make sure that Denmark were controlling the game continuously, and later as it went on, you actually saw Australia get more counterattacks. If not for the quality difference in these two sides, I think it could have been a lot more for Australia. I actually think that Denmark could have played a couple more minutes or even half an extra game and wouldn't have been able to find the back of the net. So how did it all go wrong? Where did it go wrong? I actually think it's down to the main front three. Defensively, Australia were very sound, but I actually thought that Braithwaite didn't really offer all too much. Jesper Lindstrom didn't really hurt them down the left-hand side, and that's a lot down to Australia's right-back, who did a very good job. Again, Skov Olsen didn't really utilise the ball with the degree of care that he needs to, and overall it was just a poor performance from Denmark. But this hasn't been the only time that this has happened, is it? They also lost to Tunisia, so is this becoming a bit of a pattern? The team that beat France twice going into the World Cup, I wonder where that team is. Their back four is something of just quality. You think about Christensen, he's doing quite well for Leeds. Anderson is doing well, Crystal Palace. Christensen is also doing well. He plays quite well for Barcelona. And then you have Joachim Mæhle. These are all good players. Schmeichel is a very good goalkeeper. So you need to wonder why this is happening. When you go and scroll down and have a look at some of the stats, it again is all Denmark, apart from the shots on target. So clearly they weren't being very clinical. Clearly Australia took their chances, which is what they needed to, and it's a fantastic result for them. Again, we're going to scroll down a little bit further and we're going to have a look at just some of the actual stats that really made up this game. 2 counterattacks. Denmark should have done a better job at screening their defence to make sure that Australia were not able to get out. Højbjerg did not do that, and therefore they were left open. Counter-attack shots, counter-attack goals. Denmark had more shots inside the box, but obviously they weren't of great quality, and most of the time they missed the goal. When we have a look at the passes, everything is in Denmark's favour, but yet I felt like Australia were the more comfortable. I felt like they were absolutely fine playing through the game. And this is a testament to the way that their side is drilled. Then finally, I just want to look at the determination and just the heartfelt nature that Australia played. 53 duels, 1-44. This is where the game is won and lost. 26 aerial duels to 17. Denmark just weren't at it, and they weren't winning their individual battles and their individual duels. 15 tackles to Denmark's 13. 12 interceptions to Denmark's 7, and 31 clearances make up this defensive display for Australia. They deserve to go through, and I don't think that Denmark really covered themselves in much glory going forwards. They really flattered to deceive a lot of the time, and I thought that Australia, for the most part, were pretty comfortable in the way that they were both defensively sound and the way they were going forwards. They need to take a lot of credit into this. It's going to be more difficult going on ahead, but it is a first qualification or progression into the knockout stages of a World Cup since 2006. Australia have made history, and it is fantastic to see. Denmark were poor on the night, but Australia really had to up their game to really give themselves a chance of getting out. And that's exactly what they did. I'm extremely happy for them, and they thoroughly deserve this progression. It ended Australia 1, Denmark 0, and just brilliant from the Socceroos. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Stay tuned for my World Cup coverage. You really do not want to miss it. It's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well so that you never miss an upload. And let me know your thoughts on Australia in the comments section below. How well do you think they can do progressing through the World Cup, and how disappointed are you with Denmark? I know a lot of people had Denmark as their dark horses for the tournament, so what do you think happens to them now? Let me know your thoughts. You can let me know your thoughts on Twitter. You can find me at Zekko64. That's generally where I post when my videos go live, but you can always know that, again, like I say, if you hit that notification bell. That's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.